Hey Mike, it's me Ian. Well, in today's video, I'm beginning a new series. Yes, we're going to start looking at 60s Doctor Who. So what I'm doing is I'm going through my DVD collection and what is released on the DVDs. I'm going to talk about because obviously 60s Doctor Who, there's a lot of missing episodes, and I will, when I get to the end of this, also look at the episodes where we've got animation filling in the missing episodes, and also telesnaps as well they did. So I will look at them as well. So I'm just going through in the order I've got, and you'll see as we progress. So the next episode after this is the Daleks, which really was the great game changer, but we'll talk about that next week. So we're going to look at this now, this new series which appeared on British TV 23rd of November to the 14th of December 1963. And this is important because, well, when it was transmitted on the 23rd of November, a massive event, historical event, happened, and that was the assassination of Kennedy, which did affect this the transmission, because the news coverage, as you can imagine, was dominated by that event. So this is season 1, and it's 4 episodes. And the series was created, the idea behind it was by Sidney Newman, who was a Canadian producer. It was him who was responsible for all this about the Doctor. Yes. Now, it's written by Anthony Coburn, and the first episode was written by C.E. Weber. That is just the first episode, and the rest is say Anthony Coburn. The script editor was David Whittaker, who would play an important part in shaping the series, as well as, of course, the producer, which is the guiding hand, really. And that is Verity Lambert. Now, this is groundbreaking because she was the only female producer. Again, it's just showing you about Doctor Who, how groundbreaking it is. And she was the youngest. And it was through her that Doctor Who evolved. And she is an amazing force. And at this time, it is, for a woman in her position, a young woman as well, absolutely amazing. Absolutely, it really was. Now, this particular story is also directed by Waris Hussain, who went on to direct Marco Polo 1964, which is one of the missing episodes that people wish we could have. It's a massive historical story, and it's not in the archives, which is a shame, but he directed that. But, you know, it's often talked about. It's one of those stories, historical stories, because don't forget, one of the remits of this story was we'd have, it would be seen as an educational program. So we'd have the science fiction, but we'd also have historical stories. And Marco Polo would have been that. Quite a major historical character, and that was that particular story. So, let's also talk about, before I go into the cast, the music. The music was by Norman Kay, who also did The Keys of Marinus, 1964, and The Sensorites, 1964. But the theme tune, that wonderful theme tune that is so iconic and recognizable, that was composed by Ron Grainer, who was an Australian, another Australian connection. And it was arranged by Delia Derbyshire and part of the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. Wow, that is absolutely... I mean, what they produced is unbelievable. It really is when you think about it. At the time, it was... and it's so outstanding that it stood the test of time, what they produced, that theme tune. It is amazing. It really is. Just seeing that everybody, you recognize that theme tune straight away. It's just amazing. When you've got the power of that is a really good start for a TV show. Now, the other important parts of this as well, that they did record a pilot episode, and they didn't like it. They decided that they felt something, the tone was wrong. They just thought they'll do it again. So they recorded another version of the pilot episode, the one that was broadcast. And it's all there. It's all from there. So, let's go into the cast now. We've got William Hartnell, who plays the First Doctor. William Hartnell was perhaps well known in terms of his film roles. I'm not saying he was a massive star, but he was a good sort of British actor. And he was in Brighton Rock, 1949, which is considered a really good, top quality British film. Also, of course, it's got Richard Attenborough in an acting role in that, the wonderful Richard Attenborough, Brighton Rock. But it really is a great film, that Brighton Rock. He was also in a film called The Mouse That Roared, 1959. And I think another film that people know him for now, he was in Carry On Sergeant. The one that began the brilliant Carry On series that is so loved, I think, in this country. That was in 1958. He was also in another, I think, important British film. He was in The Sporting Life of 1963. Again, very highly thought of film. So, he comes into this role, and wow, the impact he makes. Again, so important, and he does it. He really does. Brilliant, absolutely. He's portraying somebody, I think, older than he is, and he does it so well. He does it, he's just fantastic. So, the next, we've got William Russell, who plays Ian Chesterton. Now, he was known in a series, The Adventures of Sir Lancelot, which was 1956 to 1957. And he was in some films like The Man Who Never Was, 1956. The Great Escape. Oh, wow. The Great Escape, 1963. I didn't know this, but I came across it in my research. Superman, 1978. He was in Superman. Wow, yes. Now, apparently, I'm not a follower of this iconic TV soap, but he was in Coronation Street, it says, in 1992, playing Ted Sullivan. And he has also made reappearances in Doctor Who celebrations. He was a great supporter of the show. Sadly, he's no longer with us, but he lived a very old age. It's not that long ago since he died. I think it's a couple of years ago, I think it is. I think he made it to 100. He was 100. What? I mean, he was just a great supporter of Doctor Who as well, in terms of, publicity, conventions, everything. So that's William Russell. Then we've got Jacqueline Hill, who plays Barbara Wright. Sadly, she's no longer with us. Now, she returned to Doctor Who in a Tom Baker story, Meglos, 1980. Yes. And if you look at her career, it's very much TV series and TV films. She's very much involved in all that. Then we have got Carol Ann Ford, who plays Susan Foreman. Somebody who's very much an active supporter of Doctor Who and promoter. She's always there now promoting Doctor Who and has made various sort of cameo appearances. Fantastic. Now, Carol Ann Ford was in The Day of the Triffids. Yes, The Day of the Triffids. What a film that is. 1962. She was in The Great St. Trinian's Train Robbery, 1966. She was in The Man Outside, 1967. And let me just come back. She was in 54 Doctor Who episodes. And this includes appearances in 1983, 1993, and 2005. I think I think she appeared. You see, I don't follow Doctor Who now, but the Shooty Gatwa era, particularly, I seem to. I don't know nothing about that now. I sort of gave up on it, but she made an appearance apparently in one episode there. So there we are. Right. Then we have got Derek Newark, who plays Tsar. Now, he was in The Black Torment, 1964. He was in The Blue Max, oh yes, 1966. He was in Where Eagles Dare, 1968. Wow, two brilliant films. And Oh, What a Lovely War, of course, 1969. A lot of these are very familiar films that pop up. Oh, yeah. Fragment of Fear. Wow, he's in that one. That is a brilliant film, 1970. Venom, 1971. Venom's great. The Offence. Wow, The Offence. What a film. That is 1973. The Black Windmill, 1974. That's a sort of Cold War film. Brilliant. Michael Caine in that one. And then, again, a lot of TV series and TV films. Then we've got Althea Charlton, who plays her. She was in The Time Meddler. Yes, another Doctor Who classic story. William Hartnell, 1965, that one. And again, a lot of TV series and TV films. Then we've got Eileen Way, who plays the old mother. She was in The Creature from the Pit, a 1979 story. And she was in Dalek Invasion Earth, 2150 AD, 1966, the film. The Doctor Who Peter Cushing film. Oh, brilliant. So that is the cast. So what is this about? What is this story about? Well, we have to obviously go to the pilot episode, and then from there we develop it. So the pilot episode, Unearthly Child, is about these two, these school teachers become very concerned and intrigued by their pupil, Susan Foreman. She shows great intelligence, but they find there's something very much, they're intrigued by her, and she apparently lives with her grandfather, and it's, well, they just they want to know more. They do want to know more, so they sort of follow her and see where she goes to, where she lives. And when they go in there, they find themselves at, it's Totter's Lane. Yes, Totter's Lane. There, the scrapyard. They go in there, and they discover this police box. Yes, apparently she's gone in there. She's gone in this police box. And they come across this old grandfather character who's not very pleased to see them, who's rather stern, grumpy, and wants them out. Anyhow, soon it becomes apparent that this police box is not an ordinary police box. Ian, he feels this, and he can feel this vibration, and they go in there, of course, and there it is. It's the TARDIS inside, bigger than the outside, and we get all that, and the adventure begins, as we can say. It's such an iconic moment. It really is, seeing they go inside, and I always love looking at the early TARDIS as well, how it was designed, and we see how it evolved and that, and it's where they live. It's fantastic. But the story then involves them. They go off on their adventures, and they obviously can't believe what is happening, that they end up going back in time to the Stone Age. So we get the first Doctor Who story adventure that we see. Of course, there's been loads. For all we know, there's loads. Well, we know there's just absolutely loads have probably gone on. And there's a whole backstory about the Doctor. The mythology is built up over the years that he was somebody who had to leave Gallifrey, or did he? He felt stifled. That's the line that's been put forward, and he escapes with his granddaughter, and the adventures go from there. That is the storyline. So they go back in time to Stone Age, and the story that we get in the Stone Age is it's like a quest for fire, as I say. The important thing about the Stone Ages was the importance of fire, and you've got two tribes who are basically they've lost the ability of fire making, and that's so important, and that's what it's about. Who can create the fire and do it all? That's it. Yes. And there we are. That is the basic story, and great, absolutely great. I'm saying that, but if I'm actually honest about this, the story does drag a bit. It goes on a bit much. You feel it's been padded out for the 4 episodes that they need. But, you know, you can't knock it because in the sense that it's at the beginning and they're trying to find their way, I suppose, the writers and that. But of course the series is not going to take off until the introduction of the Daleks in the next story. But it's a good insight looking at this of how, you know, you can see the Doctor was to develop and the whole mythology behind it. But I do accept that it's for an opening sort of story. It's not the greatest. It's not the greatest, but you know, it's a good one to start off with in terms of, you know, trying to understand the mythology, I think, behind Doctor Who and how it all began. And Hartnell is great. He's great, is Hartnell, because already you get in about his character. He's grumpy. He's not always a very nice character either, as we're going to see further. They change him. I know he's quite a harder character, I think, in this earlier looks at, you know, when we're looking at Doctor Who. Definitely you see that he's a harder edge character. Anyhow, I think I've gone on a bit too long, but there's my introduction to 60s Doctor Who with this story. So before I go, I'll show you, this is the DVD, An Unearthly Child. There is, the extras are not that great, unfortunately. There's no documentaries really on this. There's just some comedy sketches, which are okay. It's got Mark Gatiss and David Williams doing this. But look at that. Lovely disc. And look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So the VHS came out in 1990. And the DVD 2006. And it was part of this box set. The beginning. We've got here the Daleks and the Edge of Destruction, which of course are going to be reviewed soon. So it's a nice box set and highly recommended. And that's it. Yes, I've gone on far too long. So if you've liked this video, please give it a like. And it's good for my channel. It gets it onto YouTube. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I'd love to read your comments. And hopefully you'll enjoy this series. But if you want to look at my previous Doctor Who's from the 70s onwards, have a look in there. You'll see all my reviews that I've done of Doctor Who. And yeah. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. Yeah, that's it. So, all I've got to say is, I'll see you again.